Matt Diaz digs in, first pitch swinging, fouls it back into the seats, and Vandenhurst is out in front 0-1. Tommy, what should we see from Vandenhurst tonight?
Well, I think what we saw that was impressive when he was with the ball club before was a new and improved breaking ball, more of a slider than that over-the-top curveball he was able to throw for a lot more strikes. His last outing at the big league level for the Marlins was that second game doubleheader against the Rockies. He struck out 9 in 5 2/3 innings.
Diaz, Prado, and Anderson. This is a chipperless lineup for the Braves tonight. Chipper Jones not in there. Vandenhurst buries a fastball in on Diaz's hands. It's 0-2.
And one thing you get from Diaz is not the prototypical leadoff guy who's going to be patient and take a bunch of pitches. He likes to go up there and swing away, and he's fouled off the first 2 pitches.
Vandenhurst against the Braves in 5 starts is 2-0. His ERA just over 4. And the count 2-2. The Braves last night and the Marlins waited till 10 o'clock to start their ball game. And when it was over about 1 in the morning, the Braves had a 4-3 win. And he just off. Fielding Colbreth behind home plate with Jim Wolf, Adrian Johnson, and Gary Cedars. Bobby Cox, as he usually is, up near that top step. Fastball, Diaz line drive. This is not a recording. Matt Diaz just keeps hitting shot after shot after shot. Here come the Braves, and Atlanta at 70 and 62, 8 over. Diaz, Prado, and Anderson, McCann, LaRoche, and Escobar. Ryan Church is in there in center field. Omar Infante's had some big hits, and Vasquez is in the 9 spot.
Rich, Matt Diaz is now 4 for 8 in this series.
Here is Prado. And Prado takes outside. Martin Prado, who has played a lot of second base, moves over to third base to cover for Chipper, and Infante comes from the outfield where we've seen him for the last couple of ball games, and he's at second tonight. Vandenhurst for the stretch. Diaz, who is one of the more unlikely leadoff hitters in baseball, is really thriving in that leadoff spot, and he's stolen 9 bases, so he can run a little bit. Vandenhurst misses outside.
Yeah, Diaz, this is his 8th game as a leadoff hitter, and he's hitting near 500. He told me before the game that he hit leadoff 1 year in the minor leagues, and he loves it because he knows he's going to get 4, 5 at bats for sure.
Yeah.
Hit somewhere else, and he said you're not sure what you're going to get.
Vandenhurst out of the Netherlands is 24 now. Actually had a very good year in AAA. A slider, and it's 2-2. Our weather tonight, as opposed to last night, the Eagle has landed, and he's looking at 80 degrees and 84% humidity. Mikusuki brings you our weather. Come play our way. Muggy. Smack to center. Cody turns and runs. Warning track. Reaches and makes the catch. Diaz had to re-tag all the way back to first base. He was around second. Cody Ross tracks down a bolt off the bat of Martin Prado.
Boy, Prado crossing up a lot of defenses, hitting a ball this far. Cody catches it, drops it when he puts it in that throwing hand, so it's a catch all the way. Great concentration and a lot of ways for Cody to go. He had a lot of room to cover. Ball hit hard by Prado.
Garrett Anderson, the veteran, fielding Colbreth coming over, and I think is asking for a rosin bag. I don't think the rosin bag was out on the mound to begin with, and that's in this ballpark. It's one of the most important pieces of equipment out there is a rosin bag, because pitchers in the humidity try to keep the hand and the arms dry. You can't wear sweatbands as a pitcher.
Helps dry things up a little bit. You can see Vandy using it all over that right arm. I equate what Rick Vandenhurst did in the minor leagues to what Cameron Maben did. They had things to work on. They went down and they worked and improved on their game.
Yeah, Vandy in the 11 starts at 5-2. Maben is here. He got a pinch hitting appearance last night. Diaz at first. You can see Vandy looking at his hand, trying to keep it dry, trying to keep that grip. He's gone 3-0. There's a strike.
That's from a previous start, so it's something that Rick Vandenhurst likes to do. A little bit of a habit, but also kind of dries things up on that arm.
Garrett Anderson hits a drive to right field. That's hit deep. Hermida goes back, and that one bounces up into the seats. It's going to be a double with runners at second and third.
So far, Rich, the Braves have sent 3 hitters up there, and they have all hit bullets. Diaz hit a line drive base hit to right. Prado sent Cody Ross to straightaway center. And Garrett Anderson on a low fastball almost hits it out.
Not the best of routes by Jeremy Hermida.
Number 16, catcher Brian McCann.
And here is McCann. So Anderson has a double. And McCann stands in. Now, if there's one guy in this lineup that has really teed off against Vandenhurst, it's this guy. McCann is 5 for 9 with a homer against Vandy.
Well, the first 3 hitters have teed off against Rick Vandenhurst, hitting balls hard.
A strike to McCann.
What you'd like to see is Jeremy Hermida take more of a route toward the wall. He first started and he went straight. Then he started to turn toward the wall. And that's why that ball, I don't know if he catches it, but you want to take a more direct route toward the ball, which takes him toward the wall as opposed to straight across.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. First inning. McCann goes after a high fastball, and it's 1-2. Diaz single and Anderson double, and a fly ball to deep center field. Back goes Ross, makes the catch. Both runners tag, and Diaz is going to score. Well, the Braves have hit 4 balls very hard, and that has scattered the Marlins defense all over the place.
Yeah, there's been so much activity, so many balls hit hard. We haven't had a chance to give you the defense, but we're finding a little spot right here. So here it is. Coughlin, Cody, and Hermida in the outfield. You've seen them. Cantu and Claude at the corners. Bonifacio with the start tonight at shortstop, and Ronnie Paulino is behind the plate.
At the knees now to LaRoe. There are 2 outs. A run is across. But every ball has been barreled up. Vandenhurst gets another strike, and quickly it's 0-2. One and two to Adam LaRoche. Molina was set up out. The ball hit the glove, but it didn't catch enough corner for fielding Cobra.
Been a couple of times that Vandenhurst has just missed.
Fly ball towards the line, and it's a fair ball. It's going to score a run. So the Braves hit 4 bolts and a bloop. I think even LaRoche is surprised it landed fair.
Well, it was a pretty good pitch, a slider from Vandenhurst that got down and in. LaRoche did not have a good swing. Thought the ball was going to slice foul, and he blooped it just enough. It stayed fair. He picks up a hit and an RBI. These are what make tough games, when your starters struggle early and the opposition gets on the scoreboard, and all of a sudden you're scrambling, playing catch-up ball again.
Escobar takes a breaking ball for a strike. Yunel Escobar having a very good year. I think he's one of the unsung heroes of this Atlanta ball club. Braves 8 over and 3 back in the wild card. You look at Escobar, he's hit well with runners in scoring position. He's been either at the top or near the top of that list all year long. He's played solid defensively. He's hitting over 300. Bobby Cox has used him all over the lineup.
Yeah, for a while he was the leadoff guy. Very aggressive hitter. You know, an aggressive hitter that Bobby Cox likes, but he doesn't strike out a lot. Just 50 strikeouts, 41 walks for Escobar.
Runner goes.
One of these days, Marlins
jump.
pitchers are going to learn how to hold runners. We see this every night. Take a look. Somebody yell, don't let guys like Adam LaRoche get jumps like that. Unbelievable. This is the big leagues.
Two and two. Breaking ball misses out. And Vandenhurst's pitch count elevated, much like Tommy's blood pressure. 31.
You know, after a few cups of coffee and about 5 hours sleep, you don't like to see runners get that kind of a jump.
I'm right there with you. Breaking ball, fly ball.
Yeah, but you can control it better than me.
Hermida makes the catch. Now, check with me in about 20 years. I don't know. It's 2-0 Atlanta. The Marlins batting order looks this way. Chris Coghlan in left field. Ross Glodes at first. Dan Uggles at second. Jorge Cantus at third. Cody Ross in center field. Jeremy Hermida in right. Ronnie Polino, the catcher. Emilio Bonifacio at short. And Vandy is on the mound. And the problem the Marlins have is Javier Vasquez is on the mound for the Braves. Vasquez 11-9, but a very nice 3.02 ERA. He is second in the National League with 192 punch-outs. And the Fish are in a 2-0 hole. Coghlan, who just kept hitting last night, stands in and takes a strike. Coghlan had his 47 hits, a Marlins record in August. And last night, September 1st, the calendar changed, but not Coghlan. He was 3 for 4 last night. Vasquez misses down low.
Dave, the thing that makes Javier Vasquez so good is that he has 4 pitches, and he has command of most of them. Good changeup, good curveball, a live fastball. But the good news, the Marlins have his number. He's just 6-7 in his career against the Marlins. But in his last 6 starts against Florida, he's 0-5. So there is good news for him.
Marlins on the 21st got to him in Atlanta, and it took them a while to get to him. 6 2/3 innings. It was a tight ball game until the Marlins cracked it open. Jeremy Hermida and Hanley Ramirez homered in that ball game. Coghlan fouls it back. Vasquez ended up giving up 10 hits and was charged with the 5 runs. But you could see the kind of stuff he had. He walked just one, and he had 8 punch-outs in the ball game. Coghlan takes outside. The Marlins, through the first 5 innings in that ball game, had just 4 hits, all of them singles. He's one of the most durable starters in baseball. I mean, Vasquez has been an innings eater since he was in Expo. His 1 year with the Yankees, that propelled him to a big contract. On to Arizona, on to the White Sox, and the Braves traded for him.
And we talked about that 500 record, 138 and 138. He's always been a guy that if you stay close, you can find a way to beat him. You mentioned the 1 year with the Yankees. That was the 1 year in 9 that he did not throw 200 innings, but he threw 198.
For a guy that is a 500 pitcher, you add up all of his contracts. There's the scouting report on him. Great command. And as Tommy's pointed out, he'll throw the changeup anytime, any place. Chopper. Boy, Coghlan just keeps on hitting.
Not only does he pick up a base hit, he helps his teammates because he had a 9-pitch at bat. 10-game hitting streak now for Chris Coghlan. He's 17 for his last 37. Just a good battle, fouled off some tough pitches, and got that one up the middle past Escobar.
Here's Glode. Glode in the lineup at first base. Now Glode against Vasquez has had a nice long history of success. Vasquez misses outside. Look at that. 414. And Tommy, that is a good sample size. Vasquez misses down low. Glode's in front of the count now, 2-0. If you have just joined us, Braves and Marlins. The Braves came out and hit some balls hard against Rick Vandenberg. Were able to pick up a couple of runs. The Marlins, without Hanley Ramirez in the lineup, which is another story in and of itself, trying to bounce back here in the first. And that is outside 3-0.
By the way, you saw the numbers of Ross Gload against Vasquez in that game in Atlanta. He was 2 for 4 with a couple of singles.
Gload takes a letter high strike.
Let's see if that's a strike all night. That's one you have to kind of remember, because a lot of umpires don't call that letter high strike.
Another base hit. That one almost hit Coughlin. So Ross Gload is 13 of 30 now against Javier Vasquez. And the Marlins have 2 base hits to open up this first.
Ross Gload has shown that he's one of the better Marlins hitters with a man on first base. Being left-handed, he's able to hit a pitch, and he was able to work the count there. Great footwork by Coughlin to pull a ball into that hole, with LaRoche holding Coughlin.
And here is Dan Uggla. The irony of Uggla in the 3 spot is that that's Hanley Ramirez's usual spot in the lineup. Uggla takes a breaking ball for a strike. In case you've just joined us, the Marlins without Hanley in the lineup. Hanley telling Freddie Gonzalez at the start of the afternoon that he could play, then told the media he was just 10%. But would go out there because his teammates apparently were miffed that he came out of the game last night. Freddie, upon hearing this, went to find out from Hanley if that was true, if he really was just 10%, because obviously you couldn't play him if he was 10%.
And I find that hard to believe.
And at that point, Hanley was trading verbal shots with Dan Uggla, which became a rather heated disagreement in the Marlins clubhouse. As a result, Freddie had to take Hanley out of the lineup because Hanley at 10% obviously can't play, and the Marlins had to scramble their lineup, and it moves Uggla into the 3 spot. Uggla takes down low, and it's 3-1.
Borderline pitch. And now he has a 3-1 pitch to deal with.
Cantu. Uggla fouls it back. It's 3-2. Well, last night Uggla hit his 24th, and it brought the Marlins within a run. Actually, this was about what, 12:45 in the morning.
Yeah, and you know what? It was his 16th career home run against the Atlanta Braves.
So Coughlin and Gload have opened with hits. Vasquez about to make his 20th pitch of the inning to Uggla. And he fouls it back into the glove of McCann.
It's almost, Rich, like you want to say, that's good. You get that pitch count up, and you can get Vasquez out of the game and get to that Atlanta bullpen. But that Atlanta bullpen's been pretty tough.
Here's the Atlanta defense without Chipper Jones.
See how it looks with Anderson and Church and Diaz in the outfield. At third base is Martin Prado, Escobar at short, Infante the second baseman, LaRoche at first, and Brian McCann behind the plate.
Cantu now. Vasquez pumps in a strike. Cantu 1 for 5 in his career against Vasquez.
He has had, though, Jorge Cantu, a nice series against the Braves.
5 hits for Cantu. Driven in a couple of runs. Three of the 5 hits doubles. Line drive base hit center field. Coughlin got a good start. Round third, he's held. And the throw is cut. Bags are loaded.
Remember the last couple of nights with Infante playing at the deepest center field we've seen a center fielder play. Coughlin could have scored. But Ryan Church, more of a pure center fielder, knows how to play that position, so he's not as deep as Infante's been playing. So he gets to that ball in a hurry, and it was hit hard. Though because of that, Coughlin got the stop sign from Bull Porter. Infante in center field, he's able to score.
Here is Cody Ross in a very familiar spot, Tommy, against the Braves with the bags loaded. For Cody, it's been a frustrating series. He is 0 for 8, and he's bounced into 3 double plays. Goes after a fastball, and it's 0-1.
Well, you get to that point, and your mind starts playing games with you. You go up there in a situation like this, and you even, believe it or not, this comes out, you'll say, let me just make 1 out and get a run in. Because you're thinking about those double plays.
Oh, 2.
A couple of good fastballs, but Cody swung through them. That's what surprises, I think, a lot of people about Javier Vasquez. That fastball, mid-90s. Good life on it.
He struck him out. He threw 3 fastballs by him.
Boy, 3 pitches that Cody likes. He's a good fastball hitter and just swung through all 3. Vasquez stayed with it and put him away.
Well, here is Hermida. We told you Glode has had a good history against Vasquez. Hermida's sample size isn't as big, but he's 4 for 9 with a homer. I think it's one of the things that a lot of fans and a lot of people that follow the game don't realize about Vasquez. How good a strikeout pitcher he is. And there's the evidence. And it's not just this year. He's rung up a ton throughout his long major league career. I think, Tom, it's because he's got the reputation of being an innings eater.
Yeah, and a lot of people are surprised. We pointed it out the last time the Marlins faced him. Over the last 9 years, the only pitcher with more strikeouts, Randy Johnson, over that same period. Who knew?
1-2. 3 hits in this inning, but nothing to show for it.
This is the area that has troubled the Marlins the last couple of games, in particular, getting that big hit. Jorge Cantu was able to come through with one last night, but getting a big hit, maybe tying a game, opening a game up.
Vasquez gets him through the changeup and got Hermida to chase. 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, and no runs for the Fish. On to the second. Here in South Florida, the Braves an early 2-0 lead. Braves hit some balls hard. They got 2 runs in the first. Ryan Church, Omar Infante, Javier Vasquez.
And we'll try to navigate a little quicker. He threw 32 pitches in that first inning. A good change up there, that last pitch to Church.
Outside corner. 1-2. Church, of course, swaps spots with Jeff Francoeur. Francoeur, the Braves right fielder who had such a great start as a rookie, such a promising first year and a half in the big leagues. Guy that Bobby Cox liked a lot, and just over the last 2 years slumped badly and could not get it going offensively. The Mets seemingly not happy with Church, and so a trade of outfielders. Church hits a fly ball out to Coughlin and left.
Sometimes that old change of scenery thing works out.
Seems to have worked better for Francoeur than Church, numbers-wise. You can lock in priority seating for the new Marlins ballpark today. Purchase a current Marlins season ticket plan and reserve your spot. 1-877-MARLINS. The number to call. Make sure you don't miss out on premium seating in the new Marlins ballpark. That's my favorite part, when they open the window up like that and you see inside and see the blue seats. Here's Infante, and he pops it up. Ugla on the grass. Makes the catch, and Vandenhurst gets a couple quick outs here in the second inning.
Yeah, that's a needed out right there on one pitch.
Tommy Hanson, one of the promising young rookies in the National League, and a guy that certainly will warrant consideration for Rookie of the Year, along with Jay Happ, Chris Coughlin, Casey McGee, Ricky Nolasco. They go at it tomorrow night. Although if Coughlin keeps hitting like this, it's going to be, I mean, his average up over 300 now. If Chris is able to finish at 310, 315 as a leadoff hitter on a team that's been contending all year, that's pretty good stuff. That is going to fall for a base hit.
We've seen a few of those from the Braves in this series. We saw one last inning from Adam LaRoche. Vasquez right there.
Let me ask you this question, because in the MVP voting, many people feel that pitchers should be considered or don't get equal consideration to position players. Does that hold true for Rookie of the Year?
I don't think it has in the past. I don't think it has. I think you probably have John Shambi and Joe Simpson saying if Tommy Hanson, who goes into tomorrow night's game 9-3, wins 4 more games, 3 more games, wins 12, 13 games, then he'll have a good chance. But Chris Coughlin's been here longer than Tommy Hanson.
Diaz with the count 1-0.
Some years there aren't many choices, and this is a fruitful year for rookies. There are about a half dozen that all could get votes, maybe more.
Heard Gerardo Parra's name out of Arizona.
Dexter Fowler,
Colorado. McGee out of Milwaukee. So Vasquez has the base hit.
Garrett Jones out of Pittsburgh.
He has had a nice run after they dismantled much of that team. Diaz, it's foul. Matt Diaz, a line drive single in the first. He's got 4 hits in this series. All time, he is the best ever against the Marlins. And that's with hitters that have at least 100 at bats. probably even slide that down to like 50 at bats, or maybe even 30 at bats. Hitting at 420 against the Fish. He was a member of our all Marlin killer team last year. Vandenberg gets him though. Gets him to chase. And the Braves strand a runner. Going to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Atlanta. Roberto Clemente Day throughout baseball as we celebrate his life, his career, and his legacy. And a Clemente fact: back in 1934, Puerto Rico, he was the youngest of 7 children. Javier Vasquez, no doubt, grew up in Ponce, Puerto Rico, knowing all about Roberto Clemente.
Vasquez taking his time. Remember, he got that base hit, so he was on the base pass for a little while, taking a lot of time to warm up.
Speaking of Roberto Clemente, Tony Perez is going to join us in an inning, and he's going to talk about certainly Clemente. And I think you said it best in Legends of the Game, in your sweater vest and your extensive baseball library there, that he was to Latin players, Clemente was, what Jackie Robinson was to African American players.
Yes.
And that he had to open the doors and break through the barriers. And he did it with such style and class and humanity. And that's why the Clemente Award is presented to a player who combines outstanding skills on the field with devoted work in the community. Albert Pujols won it last year. When you look at some of the names that have won this award, Hanley Ramirez, by the way, is the Marlins nominee. Some of the winners: Pujols, Craig Biggio, John Smoltz, Carlos Delgado, Jamie Moyer, Edgar Martinez, Al Leiter. Before the ball game, Hanley was recognized as the Marlins nominee. It's quite an award, quite an honor. Harold Reynolds, Cal Ripken, Barry Larkin, Ozzie Smith, Kirby Puckett, Gary Carter. All those players, Roberto Clemente Award winners.
All players who've certainly done so much on the field, but also in the community.
Now, fans also have a voice in this as well. Fans' votes will count. Oh, that's a nasty pitch. Nasty, nasty pitch. The winner will be recognized at the World Series.
Well, we saw Vasquez use his fastball effectively last inning. Well, that was a nasty breaking ball to get Paulino.
Here's Bonifacio. He fouls a pitch back. Emilio's numbers this year, as his playing time has been reduced, his average has come up. This, as we've documented, has been the side of the plate where he's had problems. But he lines that one into center. Church, you made the point that Church has center field skills. Not to take anything away from Infante, but he doesn't make that play.
He does not, and the Marlins score a run in the last inning. So 2 plays, certainly with Church in the game, have been changed because he's there.
So here is Vandenhurk. And Javier Vasquez misses. Well, it's been an interesting outing so far for Vasquez, because the Marlins have hit 4 balls hard. Coughlin's hit, Claude's hit, Cantu's hit, Bonifacio's out. And then Vasquez has struck everybody else out. He has 4 strikeouts.
They had a 12 strikeout game against the Marlins in early April. His second start of the year, he went 6 innings. The Marlins beat him in that game. Gave up 5 hits and 3 runs, but he had 12 strikeouts. He's been tough in the first inning. In his 26 starts this year, he's allowed only 4 first inning runs.
Breaking ball finishes off Vandenhurk. First time through the order. Vasquez punches out 5 fish. Back in South Florida, joining us now is Hall of Famer Tony Perez. Hi, Tony. How are you?
Hi, how you doing, Rick?
This has to be for you a special day. Roberto Clemente Day throughout baseball. What did he mean to your career growing up?
Well, Roberto was one of the guys, one of the players who always look at the Latin players, and he got in trouble for a few times with the media because what he says about it and all that, but he was a tremendous player and great guy, and we all look up to him when we play because we know he was representing us in all baseball.
Martin Prado at the plate facing Rick Vandenhurk.
Tony, it is tough. We kind of made this comparison. as tough for Roberto Clemente as it was for Jackie Robinson, because Jackie with African Americans and Roberto with Latin Americans representing that country.
Well, he did it well for us. I mean, but Jackie Robinson was the guy who got us to play the game. You know, you open the door for everybody, and Roberto know that. But Roberto was trying, to get the Latin players to be more recognized and respected.
That ball into the seats. As a player, is there a modern day guy or anybody you've seen in the last 40 years that compares to him?
Well, I cannot compare anybody to Roberto Clemente, because not even myself or anybody else, because Roberto was so special for the game of baseball and what he did when he died for the humanity help. I mean, you cannot compare that, because he was something special for this game. But he was a great player. I see a lot of guys with great arms and great hitting abilities and know how to play the game. But Roberto, he got all those tools, and he used it to help his ball club to win ball games.
It was at a time when you never heard the term 5-tool player. But he was a 5'2" player, about 5'11" too, not a big guy.
Oh yeah, no, he wasn't a big guy. He didn't hit too many home runs, but he had some power. He was strong.
Best throwing arm from the outfield that you saw in your era?
Yeah, I see a lot of good guys, great guys. You see one too, and Valentine and Montreal. I see that Ellis Valentine came up, and he was a great arm, a strong arm. But Roberto was so, I mean, every time the way he threw the ball to the bases, like the third base, to the plate, he was so there. I mean, every time he make a throw, the ball was right there, but on the back. It's not comparison at all.
Coghlan got handcuffed on that line drive, and it pops out of his glove. It'll be an error on Chris Coghlan.
Yeah, I think he may have gotten handcuffed and light cuffed too. We see occasionally right there. It's hard to tell, but if you lose it just for a second, he could have lost it. He may not have. Either way, the ball sunk on him and caught him on the heel of the glove.
So that brings LaRoche to the plate, and McCann is at first. There are 2 outs in the 3rd inning, and Vandenhurst misses inside. How much longer, how many more things would he have accomplished had he not perished tragically in the plane crash?
Well, he can put a lot of better numbers than he ended up with, because he ended up with 3,000 hits, but he can, I think he can play 3 or 4 more years easy, because he was in great shape, and the guy, he was about 37 years old, but I think he can play a few more years, because the way he plays the game and the way he takes care of himself.
Vandenhurst right now trying to get through this 3rd inning. You got 2 quick outs. Strikeout of Prado. Anderson flied to left. Well, McCann's at first on the Coghlan error, and McCann is chased back.
Would he go back and play winter ball all the time too?
Well, he played a lot winter ball in Puerto Rico, but he didn't play every year. When I played there, I see Roberto play maybe 2 or 3 years, because he didn't play all the time. No. But he played a lot early in his career. He played almost every year.
And his family, that's one of the nice things about this award, is it brings his sons, his family into the spotlight. They are still very much associated with Major League Baseball. Oh yeah, they got the 2 sons, Junior on the other son, and they got a lot of team going with baseball. And his mother, his wife, or their mother, she is still involved with Major League Baseball too. Well, there's a base hit from Adam LaRoche, and it's going to bring up Yunel Escobar.
That's the unfortunate thing about the error in left field. It would have been a nice, easy, quick inning for Vandenhurst, and all of a sudden now with the base hit by LaRoche, get a couple of men on.
Vera Clemente is the wife, the widow of the Hall of Famer. There's some great names in there, some great Latin players. Albert Pujols has received that award. Carlos Delgado has received the award. Rod Carew, also a recipient.
I know all the players who received that award, they're very proud of.
And I would think even the Latin players, too,
Oh,
especially.
Yes, everybody.
Yeah.
Good breaking ball. There's the slider that Vandenherk has added to his arsenal. And it counts 1-1.
You've seen the changes, a few little changes in Vandenherk since he's kind of changed the breaking ball a little bit.
Yeah, he's throwing a lot better, more strikes, and he keeps the ball around the plate. That's good.
Tony Ross going to run it down. Tony, thanks for stopping by, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. I hope we come back and win this game.
Okay,
right.
thanks, Tony.
Hall of Famer Tony Perez. Braves on top, 2-0.
With the Arizona Diamondbacks, and as Chris Coughlin comes up to the plate, I know you smile every time you see him. I was thinking of you last night when every time he got a hit, because you saw him as a high schooler there, Luke.
Yes, we drafted him, I think, around the 16th round out of high school. I really liked his bat, but unfortunately we weren't able to sign him. I guess, no pun intended, you could say he's the fish that got away.
That's right. Well, that 16th round that he was taken, obviously he wanted some more money. He ended up going to Ole Miss, and but you remarked even then, you thought, I think you told me he was a 300 major league hitter.
Well, I just felt like he had a chance to hit 300 in the big leagues. In fact, whenever they told me at the time that they didn't think they would have enough money because we had spent a lot of money on higher picks that year, that they didn't have any money for him, I just said, well, I believe the kid's going to hit 300 in the big leagues, so you guys can make up your mind what you want to do. But unfortunately for him, he went on to Ole Miss, did well. And, you know, I saw him last year when he was in Double-A. He said it's all worked out for the best, and it sure has now, seen him hit 300 in the big leagues. I'm happy for him, and I know the whole community back up there in East Lake, where he went to high school, Palm Harbor area, they're proud of him. He's a good person, too, and that makes it even better.
He's a solid guy. Ironically, it's in this series that he went over 300 really for the first time since he's had a significant number of at-bats. What did you like about him so much as a player?
I just like the way he swung, and he's actually running better than he did at that time. We worked him out as a catcher, but he's playing out of position really in left field, but he's swinging the bat. So as long as you hit, you play.
Looked like a tough call there, guys. You have a better look at that? He looks safe from up here, from down here.
Well, either way, even his outs, he hits hard because he hit this ball a shot to second. Here's a real close look, and I think he was just out by a half a step.
One last thing I want to ask you, Luke, and that is just all your scouts here, when you watch guys, what qualities do you look for, and how do you know
Well, it's an inexact science. You just don't know, especially when you go to see high school kids. You just try to get as much information as you can, go on their background, their competitiveness, and their tool package.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks for your time.
That's a fair ball, and Ross Glode has got himself extra bases. How about Ross Glode against Javier Vasquez, Tommy? 14 now for 31.
Yeah, it's one of those things that looks like it doesn't matter what Vasquez throws him either. He hit fastballs last time up. That time he took a breaking ball down the right field line for a double, and he's 2 for 2. It's our checkers double of the game, and another solid swing by Ross Glode, who's now a 452 hitter against Javier Vasquez. So again, 2 balls hit hard, because Chris Coughlin's one hopper to second was a shot.
Here's Uggla now. Well, Uggla was part of that first inning, which was feast or famine for the Fish, and it turned into an empty inning when the Marlins didn't score. But they hit 3 balls hard, and then Vasquez struck out 3 of them, including Uggla, Ross, and Hermida, and he punched out Ross and Hermida with the bags loaded.
It was great listening to what Luke Wren had to say about Chris Coughlin, and certainly as we've gotten to know him, his family over on the other coast of Florida can certainly be proud, regardless of the type of player he is.
And I think that's, if you talk to the Marlins coaching staff, Bo Porter, who works with him in the outfield, Jim Presley especially, who works with him as the hitting coach, that really impresses them. Just for a rookie to step into the big leagues, play a position he's never played, hit in the order in a leadoff spot where he's never hit, and keep his wits about him and do what he's done. That's heady stuff. 1-1. Breaking ball, kicks away from the can. Glode's going to try it, and he gets there. Hustle play by Ross Glode.
Sometimes when you're at second, you have a little better angle seeing where that ball's going to kick away from the catcher, as opposed to if you're a runner at first. And Ross Glode has shown us throughout the year he's an alert base runner, and he was alert on that play.
So Uggla with a chance to get the Fish on the board. You can see the middle infield is back. Corners have crept up. 1 out. Uggla, left field, and deep. Get out of here, ball. His name is Dan Uggla.
I think he kind of likes that number 3 spot in the order. Oh, what a rocket. Number 25, number 17 in his career against the Atlanta Braves, and it's a 2-2 tie. Well, his last 2 home runs last night and tonight have been launched. There's a fastball, but it moves in, and Dan Uggla is all over it.
2-2 game. Nice catch. Cantu takes a breaking ball, and it misses. Check swing. No swing. Cantu drove a single to center. So the balls that the Marlins have hit against Vasquez, Tommy, have been hard hit.
Oh yeah, the base hits, the outs. Cameron Maybin loved it. Along with all the strikeouts, all the innings, and everything else, that's the 318th home run that Javier Vasquez has allowed. That's 5th on the active list.
Full count. Chopper to short. Escobar in time. Inside the Marlins, we have profiled a lot of different people in Marlin uniform. This episode will get you behind the scenes inside the Marlins, the broadcasters. You go places, you'll meet people. Household name Jim Holley, critically acclaimed producer John Sulzer, the heart and soul of the telecast, Cassie Allen.
Generally well liked, Ken Lee.
That comes on after the telecast.
I'm racing home to see that.
See, now, last year, Ken Lee was critically acclaimed. This year, John Sulzer got most of the accolades.
Is that like a promotion?
Well, it ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you get a few bloop hits to fall in, the average goes up. Kenny Lee's been spraying line drives all over the park. They've just been caught. He's like Ugla was. Remember in the month of July?
Funny you bring that up. If you think about that, a few of those fall, and he's hitting right around 260.
He may end up at 260. One and two. Javier Vasquez has 5 strikeouts, but the Marlins have tied the game. And as you saw, they've pushed his pitch count now up to 60. Ross off the end of the bat, little flare out to left. Escobar wanders out and makes the catch. Dan Ugla goes deep, ties this game. It's 2-2. Shot has tied it up. The duck waddles in with this. who holds the Marlins rookie record for multi-hit games? That's a good question. What kind of rookie year did Luis Castillo have?
It was, he didn't have a full rookie year because he had enough ABs. I would have to maybe think Miguel Cabrera.
Cabrera came up in,
yeah, but he wasn't here full year. He wasn't here full year either.
Maybe one of the class of 2006, the guys that started from the very get-go, a Hanley or an Ugla. Who else was a rookie that year? Mike Jacobs. Was Hammer a rookie that year? Did he still have rookie status?
Jeremy Hermida.
Yeah. Ryan Church up there with a count 1-2. Rick Vandenherk has settled down from the first inning. Boy, the first inning, it didn't look like Vandenherk was going to last long, and it didn't look like some of these infielders were going to last long because the Braves hit some absolute rockets. The Diaz liner, Prado's drive to the wall that Cody caught, Anderson's double, even McCann's sacrifice fly was a bolt. So was LaRoche's single.
Well, you think about it, both sides. And aside from the strikeouts, the Marlins have hit some bullets against Javier Vasquez.
And it misses outside. There is Omar Infante. You know, I've seen more of Omar Infante than I have of my family in the last 3 days. That's a problem.
Number 4, second baseman Omar Infante.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Florida Marlins, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Florida Marlins. Our Spanish language broadcasters, Tony's over there. The Colonel is there, it looks like, as well. We will talk with them later.
Hey, the Colonel is here, too.
That's the rumor. I've heard that they spotted the Colonel down in the press box. Infante swings and misses. It's 0-2. Braves and Marlins tomorrow night, and then a late night flight up to Washington, D.C. Right down the middle. Vandenherk gets a punch out. Earlier today, Tommy, you know, last night everybody had to work late. Well, a little KFC for the crew. There's Cassie. She prefers the grills.
Yep. Always nice to see the crew taken care of. Mark right there. Boy, that looks good.
Here's Vasquez, and he squares the bunt. Drops it down. Bloat will pick it up, and he will tag him out.
17th sacrifice bunt for Javier Vasquez. Remember, in Atlanta, he pinch hit in a sacrifice situation and dropped down a bunt. So he is extremely proficient
Number 23,
in knowing how to drop down a sacrifice bunt.
But Vandenherk has to navigate through Diaz here, who is 1 for 2. There were some similarities between Diaz and Francoeur in terms of their aggressiveness. Well, the Marlins are just going to flat out walk him. That's the one thing about Diaz is you can get him to chase, but oftentimes he'll chase a ball and hit it hard.
Yeah, he'll hit one. You know, he'll chase one high, a high fastball, miss, and he'll chase a low breaking ball, but then he'll hit a breaking ball off his shoe tops and hit it hard. So he's a very hard guy to pitch to, and we've talked about his unique style. How he'll move his feet around, he'll guess. If he's thinking breaking ball, he'll back up a little bit, move his feet. So I think the wise choice, a guy who has just completely torn apart the Marlins pitchers over the last few years, the wise choice, just put him on. Go after Martin Prado. But remember, Prado sent Cody Ross to the warning track and hit a deep fly ball out his first time up.
Vandenhurst struck him out his second time up. That misses in. In Philadelphia, the Giants have a 1-0 lead over the Phillies.
Very interesting pitching matchup there. Brad Penny pitching for the Giants against Jay Happ.
Up and in.
Now the way this backfires is if Rick Vandenhurst can't throw strikes to Prado, because then he has to deal with Garrett Anderson. That ball wasn't that close.
That ball wasn't even inside. It was high.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the armor on and he's falling back. I think he just lost his balance.
Here's the 2-0. It's almost the same spot, and he went after it.
Yeah. Actually, the sequence of those two pitches backwards. If a guy swings that hard, then you want to go up and in the way that pitch before was. And have him fall back.
Nice. Now Vandy needs a strike here with first and second. And instead he gets a high fly ball. Cody Ross is on his horse. In the triangle, he's there and he runs it down. Just a 400-foot out. Braves leave 2. We're tied at 2. And who are you going to call? 1-877-MAROONY by Checkers, Little Place. Taste by Corona, official sponsor of the Timeout. 2-2 ball game. Braves jump to a 2-0 lead. They roughed up Rick Vandenhurst in the first. The Marlins, on a 2-run home run by Dan Uggla, have tied it at 2.
Yeah, there's a look at Steve Foster down at the Marlins bullpen. Wanted us to be sure to wish his mom, Aileen Cooper, a very happy birthday. So got that wish out. She's in Texas, watches a lot of the games. So Foster's doing a good job down there. Right now, nobody warming up. That's good news for him.
Jeremy Hermida, Ronnie Paulino, and Bonifacio coming up. Armida takes outside. Vasquez runs that away. Javier Vasquez has piled up his strikeouts. But the Marlins have their hits. 5 hits for the Fish. Chewy is here, and he's sitting with Coughlin's Cowgirls. Is it Miss Chewy or is it Mr. Chewy?
It's Miss tonight. I mean, if Chewy's a cowgirl. Coughlin's Cowgirls have a great sign out there, Rookie of the Year.
Do we have a dry cleaning sponsor we might be able to steer Chewy towards?
Might be able to steer us toward that.
Here's the pitch to Armida.
All the dry cleaning we do.
It's up and in. Jeremy takes inside, and Vasquez with a full count now, 3-2. Yeah, Brad Penny is right now shutting out the Phillies in the bottom of the 5th inning. There's Ronnie Polito on deck.
Yeah, Penny's first start as a San Francisco Giant. And we heard Larry Beinfest right here last night when he was on with us say that, hey, Penny, as a free agent at that point, chose the Giants over the Marlins.
Right back at him. So an out here in the 4th. A duck here in the 4th. The Aflac duck. Marlins rookie record for multi-hit games.
Well, we named a number of guys, but we didn't get much reinforcement.
It was Hanley.
Okay. Right behind him, Niner.
Alex Gonzalez and Ugla. And they were from that class of 2006.
See, I went away from my normal formula.
Which is Conine.
Yeah, Conine. Any offensive Marlins question, you go with Conine.
Conine is going with us. Did you see the memo?
I did. I'm happy about that.
That one rolls off of Adam LaRoche's glove. One of the best fielding first basemen in the game just botched a routine play.
In 115 games, he's made just one error. This is his first error as an Atlanta Brave back with them. That ball had some spin, and it just spun right up his arm. Just goes to show you that a sure-handed infielder, he thought he had it. He started going to the bag.
Paulino is aboard. Here's Bonifacio. He lashes it foul. Marlins and Braves opened this 4-game series with identical records. Of course, the Braves have taken the first 2. What the Marlins are hoping for now is that they can take the second 2 and call it a draw and hit the road to Washington.
Well, just thinking about that formula when we go to St. Louis, the offensive formula in the next few years could change, because right now any offensive question you just say Stan Musial, but pretty soon it's going to be Albert Pujols.
It's a great point. Bouncer up the middle, got one, the turn, safe. Boy, Bonifacio, he hit that hard. It drew Infante towards the bag. Escobar made a clean turn, and they still didn't get him.
Yeah, that shows you how fast he can get up the line. That's a routine double play for just about everybody. It looked like they may have taken a little too much time, and because of that, Bonifacio beats it out and allows the pitcher to get up to the plate.
Which will in turn turn the lineup over if Vandenhurst does not reach or Bonifacio does not get picked off. There's a strike. It's one of the nuances of a National League game, at least getting the pitcher through so that you can have Coughlin lead off in the 5th. And as a runner, the first base coach will remind you, hey, pitcher's up.
Don't get picked
There's
off.
2 outs. And of course, Vasquez is going to go over there just to see, because he'd love to have Vandenhurst leading off when he gets to the 5th inning.
Well, I think if he is successful in the top of the 5th, we'll see a pinch hitter anyway. Because Vandenhurst has thrown 82 pitches. So at that point, I'm sure Freddie would just like to get one more out of him.
You know, the amazing thing is Vasquez has thrown 76 pitches.
Oh, yeah.
He's not that far behind him.
Remember the first batter for the Marlins, Chris Coughlin, who eventually singled, had a 9 or 10 pitch at bat against Vasquez.
Vandenhurst gets a piece. That's a case of when you hear a pitcher talk about pitching to a pitcher, they're reluctant to throw an off-speed pitch because they're afraid it's just going to speed up a guy's bat and he might just run into one. Vandenhurst ran into one.
Yeah, it's almost like a batting practice pitch.
So he says, all right, here's 91.
Forget that. I'm going to go back with the heat.
See if you can touch that. 2-2. Our Spanish broadcasters join us now.
Quinto inning.
Cookie and Raul. Now, guys,
Rich, how are you?
every time
What's going on?
Every time we go to you, we see the bucket of chicken.
Yeah.
And we're jealous.
We finished already one.
You want some?
And
there
now we got another
This
one.
is the real thing.
Oh.
There we go.
We got a surprise for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Look.
Take that.
Look at this.
Cookie, take
We
that.
got original recipe over here. What do you have?
We have the grill.
We have the grilled.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have to trade later and compare.
Now, there are two things that we really like. And one is food and one is fashion. And the two don't go together, so we had to take protective measures. So we didn't get
We had to put the bibs on.
the bibs on.
I agree.
You guys are experts.
Hey, Cookie, real quick, for yourself, a Roberto Clemente story.
Well, I believe that he was one of the greatest representatives of minorities, you know, Spanish players, black players in the game of baseball. He was outspoken, Tommy. He told it like it was, you know, trying to get everybody on the same level. He was a great athlete. I had the pleasure of playing against him, and he was the type of player that you admire on the field, give 100%, and not only what he did on the field, but what he did off the field, helping people, the community, the kids, teaching them baseball. Even going to Nicaragua on the earthquake when so many people were hurt. He died in that mission, and to me, one of the icons of baseball in Latin America.
If you guys ever have the opportunity to visit Puerto Rico, you'll see the Roberto Clemente Sports Complex.
Yes, I saw it this year when I went down to the WBC.
That's right.
And I did when the Marlins played a series over there.
I mean, it's so many things that he's done, not just in between the lines and the diamond, but all the other stuff that he's done, the humanitarian stuff, and I think that's what he'll be remembered for the most.
Hey, Cookie, when Tony Perez was here, he told us one of the things that was most important about Clemente to Latin American players is that he really fought for their recognition, and he at times was at odds with the American press, but he made sure that Latin American players got respect, got recognition. Can you talk about that? What exactly did he do, and how kind of there's a flip from
Trató de empezar ahí una doble
that
matanza, pero el
Bonifacio
tiro
is unable to
desviado.
handle, and that's a big error. The Braves are now set up at first and second. Cookie, can you talk about that time in baseball in the late 50s, early 60s when Clemente was doing that?
Well, as you well know, Richie and Tommy, you know, in that era, we had the problem here in the United States with racism. And also, you know, the Spanish people were looking at sometimes as if they were black, and they had different hotels for the players. You had to go to a restaurant, they had to go to other places, you couldn't go to the movies. So it was a lot of things that were going wrong in that country, in our country right now. And Roberto Clemente, you know, because of his stature that he did, what he did in baseball, was very outspoken in the name of all those Latin American players and black players that came from all over to play in the same level in the big league, with the same athletes, the same human beings, the respect that they deserve and demand. And Roberto Clemente was the first man that I remember of in my career that he stood up for his fellow man, and I believe that that was a great way that the way he did it.
And on the road, fouls it back.
I was just going to add something, guys. Growing up, my father, you know, being from Puerto Rico, would always make a point to point out, you know, interesting stories about Roberto. And one of the first things that he also told me with respect to that, and one of the reasons why he also sometimes came across a certain way with the American media, after a game one time they tried to call him Bob Clement. And afterwards he got dressed in his suit, went upstairs, and kindly asked the announcer to call him Roberto Clemente, his real full name.
Cody Ross makes the catch. Anderson's going to move to third. Well, I like the way that Tony Perez put it when he said that Jackie Robinson opened the door for all minorities, and Roberto Clemente pushed the door open even wider for the Latin American players.
Yeah, good stuff.
Absolutely. That's why a lot of people are trying to see if number 21 also can be retired from baseball like Jackie Robinson did, you know, number 42 for the entire baseball era.
All right, guys, have a good show.
You too, guys.
Meanwhile, back on the mound, Rick Vandenherk, after that error, and I'm assuming they gave it to Dan Uggla.
Yeah, Rick Vandenherk could be out of this inning. That was a routine double play ball. McCann does not run well, and Dan Uggla got the error on the poor flip to Bonifacio.
There's a little bleeder out in the center field. Cody Ross coming on, makes a short hop. Anderson got a late start. The throw to second is not in time. I think Cody was focused on the play at second. Anderson was waiting to see if it was caught, and he might be able to tag and go in. Here's a look at it.
Well, again, a ball not hit that well on the hands. Cody didn't have, I don't think, a play at the plate, but you're right. He was focused on trying to get the out at second base, again, because McCann's the runner, and it was a very close play at second.
Ryan Church. High drive, right field. Hermida back to the track, and he makes the catch. Tagging at second is McCann, and he ends up at third base. Saturday afternoons were made for baseball. This week, Fox brings you the national game of the week as Dustin Pedroia and the Red Sox take on Paul Konerko and the White Sox in a pivotal game for both teams' playoff chances. Fox Saturday Baseball this week at 4 on Fox. Omar Infante, there's a runner in scoring position, and that's not good when you're facing Omar Infante. I told you last night, he's had tremendous success the last 4 years. Since the start of 07, a 368 average. .378 this season. But Vandy gets a couple strikes. It's 0-2.
When you think about this inning, it certainly could have gone in another direction, but it all started with a leadoff walk. But the Marlins did have that opportunity on that ground ball to Uggs to turn the double play. That ball moves back. It looked like this one moved back, possibly fooling Field and Colbert. Look at that ball. Look how it comes back because you can follow Paulino's glove.
Escobar's at first. Glode holding him. McCann's over at third. A run across. 3-2, Braves on top. Breaking ball into center. Ross there, makes the catch. Costly error. And the Braves take a 3-2 lead. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. 3-2. Braves on top, bottom of the fifth. Javier Vasquez for the Braves gets the top of the order. Chris Coughlin, Ross Flo, Dan Ugla. Oakland 1 for 2 in this game and 5 for 10 in this series. This was the point of the ball game where the Marlins got to Vasquez when they last faced him in Atlanta.
Yeah, he also came into this game, Rich, and it's going to go up a little bit with his 1 for 2. 367 this year against Atlanta, and that's a good pitching staff.
Glove pops up the first pitch, and Escobar wanders out, makes a catch.
Number 7, first baseman, Ross.
Our Geico quote of the night on last night's loss to Atlanta: we had some opportunities. They turned 3 double plays. We couldn't get that run that we needed. And for the Fish, it was a frustrating night last night.
You have to think, Rich, that's all for Rick Vandenberg. Brian Sanchez is loosening up in the bullpen, and Vandenberg's pitch count at 99.
Vasquez pitch count at 80. Glode fouls it back. Now Ross Glode is 2 for 2 tonight. He is 14 for 31 against Javier Vasquez. Giants have stretched their lead over the Phillies to 4-0. That's bottom of the 6th inning. Brad Penny has a 3-hit shutout going in Philadelphia. See, I'm not completely buying the, oh, just get him out of the American League and he'll be fine thing. Because he's facing the Phillies.
In Philadelphia.
Right.
Which is like facing most American League lineups.
Ross Glode turns on that one, hits it to right center field. Church going after, looks up, that ball's off the wall. Glode is racing for second. He's digging for third. He's gonna get there. Oh, Ross Glode, have a night.
Single, double, triple. He kills Javier Vasquez. Vasquez doesn't know how to get him out. Looked like the ball almost got in on him a little bit, and he didn't hit it all that well, but he hit it good enough. He really shortened his hands and his swing to get to that pitch that was in. Church couldn't get there, and the ball stays in. If it bounces out, he gets the 2-base hit. But because it stayed in, he was able to get the triple. So that sets it up with 1 down, and Dan Uggla coming up. See how he looks over his shoulder? Right there, he knows he's going to go to third. When you have that play in front of you, you don't have to rely on the third base coach.
Infield is creeping in. Uggla at the plate. 1 out, runner at third. Dan takes a fastball down low. Vasquez doesn't like the call, neither does Brian McCann. This is a great duel. We've seen it twice tonight. With first and second in the first, Vasquez struck Uggla out. With a runner at second in the third, Uggla took Vasquez out. With a 2-run homer, his 25th of the season. Breaking ball, and it's 1-1.
Boy, and just in case you missed it, Dan Uggla didn't miss it. A fastball, middle in, and home run number 25 on the year.
Right now, just a fly ball to the outfield would tie this game.
Like a slider, that was a pretty good pitch to hit because it stayed up in the zone.
Vasquez is one of the best strikeout pitchers in the game. And that's at the top of his list right now against Uggla. Rung him up on a fastball at the knees. Big strikeout for Vasquez.
Borderline Ryan, there was a time earlier we saw that pitch come to the wall, but certainly with 2 strikes, a man on third, less than 2 out. That one just locked up. Uggs couldn't pull the trigger and have a swing.
Here's Cantu, who has singled and bounced out. As Tommy's pointed out, Cantu has been red hot this series. 6 for 10. The man on deck, Cody Ross, has not been. I'm not saying that Vasquez is going to pitch around Cantu as he pumps in a fastball. And it's 0-1.
Cantu, as you pointed out, 6 for 10. Cody's 0 for 9 in this series.
3 of his 6 hits have been doubles. Outside corner, 1-2. Tried the 1-2 slider, and the count evens at 2-2. Vasquez has 7 strikeouts.
Go JC.
He hasn't walked anybody. Cantu was on it, stays at 2-2.
Yeah, I was just thinking something about Ross Claude with the success he's had against Vasquez. They were teammates in '06 when they were both with the White Sox. And then Vasquez continuing pitching with the White Sox, and Ross Claude was with Kansas City, '07 and '08.
Cantu reaches out and rolls it to first. And Vasquez gets out of trouble, leaves Claude at third, and keeps his team on top. A day are killed in alcohol-related crashes. The Florida Department of Transportation wants to make sure you think before you drink this Labor Day weekend. 3-2, Atlanta on top. Marlins go to their bullpen as expected. Brian Sanchez is in. Vandenhurst 5 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned, 6 hits. And Sanchez here in the 6th inning. And he gets Javier Vasquez, then Matt Diaz and Martin Prado.
I think earlier when we saw Rick Vandenhurst wobble just a little bit, Christian Martinez was loosening up. A little different situation now in the game, so Brian Sanchez comes in.
Vasquez can handle the bat. Sanchez a 1-1 count. Ground ball. Ugbo has it. Fires over to first in time. We check in with Craig Vittorvini. Craig.
Thank you. Rudy Garbalosa is with us, the head coach of Lynn University in Boca, and they won the national championship Division II. Rudy, you just won it this past May, and the first time ever for the Fighting Knights. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Craig. It was a great experience. I got to tell you, we had a really good group of guys, really good team. These guys were a real good bond together, and something that I was really proud to be a part of.
Very competitive, too, obviously, to win the national championship. You had the chance to take down number 173. That's exciting for you, huh?
Oh, yeah, it was very exciting. You know, this is great. New ballpark coming, and, you know, it's a great honor. And I want to thank the Marlins for this opportunity and the great job they've done to honor our team. We really appreciate that.
We had the team out before the game. The Fighting Knight was out there, too, and you were honored. And how about your team coming back? You lost, what, 14 seniors. How hard is it to be defending champ and try and win 2 in a row? Has it happened before?
It has happened. Actually, I think it's happened 3 or 4 times in Division II. So we're going to give it a shot this year. We've got our pitching staff coming back, which we've got some really good pitchers in our staff, some good depth, and a couple of prospects on our pitching staff. We do have 17 new guys. We had 14 seniors last year that graduated and went on. We had 1 still playing baseball. So we've got some holes to fill, but I like our pitching staff.
Last thing, you mentioned that Division II guys doesn't get as much attention, of course, as Division I around the nation, but you mentioned a couple of names. Guys have played in Division II and got on to the major leagues, including Mike Rebello, who's in the Marlins system.
Yeah, it is. You'd be surprised to see how many you'd find, especially in our conference. We've had, I think this past year there was 14 guys drafted in our conference. And we've had some guys like Brett Tomko and Lance Sneaker and guys like that have out and played in the big leagues. So some good baseball. Congratulations. Good to see you. Thank you, Craig. Thanks a lot.
Rudy Garbalosa, head coach of the Fighting Knights at Lynn, the national champions Division II this past May. Back up to you.
Good stuff. Good coach.
Yeah, good baseball in this area, believe me.
Matt Diaz, a 1-2 count. And strike 3. Matt Diaz isn't happy. Fielding Cobra brings him up. Family Sunday on the 13th. Marlins and Nationals at 1:10. First 5,000 fans get a Hanley Ramirez bobblehead, courtesy of Preferred Care Partners. Kids can run the bases after the game in the Diamond Dash, 1-877-MARLINS, or visit marlins.com.
Well, Brian Sanchez has come in and done what he's done most of the year. Lots of strikes, lots of quality strikes.
Two. Prado an 0 for 3 night. swing. Sanchez, 1-2. Got it. Ryan Sanchez, a 1-2-3-6. Bottom of the sixth coming up. Marlins down a run against the Braves. And the legacy of Roberto Clemente, 3-2. Atlanta on top of the fish in the bottom of the sixth inning. Now Tommy Hutton. Roberto Clemente played 18 seasons from 55 through 72, all with Pittsburgh. MVP in 66. What was it? A dozen Gold Gloves. And you had a chance to play against him.
You know, that was my first full year in the major leagues with the Philadelphia Phillies, and I had some fun today looking at some box scores from 1972. And there was a doubleheader in September. There were some games earlier in the year, but that was getting toward the end of the season. And it was a Labor Day doubleheader. The first game was at 10:30 in the morning. And it was against the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh. Phillies weren't too good that year, but there's the box score. There are the lineups, and I played center field, hit third. I will say I was 2 for 4 that day. Clemente was 1 for 3. Then I started thinking about later in the year, and the Phillies had a series against the Pirates in Philadelphia right toward the end of September. And I knew that he ended his career with 3,000 hits on the nose. Well, one of those games also in the lineup at the same time against the Pirates, and Clemente had a base hit, and I figured that was 2,999. Because a couple of days later, he got a hit in New York or against the Mets. He didn't play the rest of the season, 2 more days, and that was number 3,000.
Wow. Cody Ross has taken 3 high fastballs from Javi Vasquez. Marlins trying to get to the Braves before the Braves get to Gonzalez and Soriano. The Braves bullpen has been lights out in the second half, especially against the Marlins. Although I would think there'd be somewhat of a question, not as to Chewy's availability, but Rafael Soriano didn't look all that fresh last night.
You have to wonder if Bobby Cox will go with the same group down in that bullpen.
3-2.
We've seen Moylan. There's Soriano there. We've seen Mike Gonzalez.
Cody takes it and he walks. Maybe that will get him off this little slide that he's been on. He is aboard. It's the 6th inning. That means Coors Light freeze cam time. And well, the home run was nice. Watch the catch. Freeze it. That is a heck of a catch. Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze cam.
Well, a good way to start, and that's the first walk of the game for Javier Vasquez.
Hermida. We were told at the start of the night that Hanley Ramirez is available to pinch hit. Hanley in the very end of the dugout.
In the right spot. When you have a player that has a slight little tweak, you don't want to put him in that situation where it might be a double play. You'd love to look for a situation with a sac fly, something like that. But you don't want to have him afterwards stand and run real hard to try to beat out a double play.
Chris Medlin, whom the Marlins saw last night, good changeup. He's up in the bullpen. Marlins had an opportunity in the 5th. A one-out triple by Ross Glode, but Vasquez punched out Dan Uggla and got Cantu to bounce out.
Well, he's used that changeup very well to Hermida all night. Struck him out on the changeup back in the 1st inning. Yeah, Bobby has the left-hander Eric O'Flaherty. You know, we've seen him warming up, and as you mentioned, we've seen Medlin. Have a couple of guys, and unfortunately tonight back-to-back in the lineup. Mentioned Cody 0 for his last 9, Jeremy Hermida 0 for 12.
Hermida homered against Vasquez 2 weeks ago. Two.
Jeremy's had a nice little run against the Braves this year. 295 against Atlanta this year.
That ball is in the dirt. Brad Penny and the Giants shutting out the Phillies still 4-0 in the 8th in Philadelphia. The Mets and Rockies both have a run, and they're in the 2nd inning in Colorado.
Well, last night it was Cole Hamels with a 2-hit shutout against San Francisco.
Runner goes, slicing liner. Anderson has it in left. Cody has to retreat. Javier Vasquez tonight.
Well, you're just looking at a true professional, the way he goes about his work. A live fastball, good changeups, slider's been there. He made a mistake to Dan Uggla, a 2-run shot. Then he came back and made a perfect pitch to Dan Uggla to strike him out with Glode at 3rd base and less than 2 out.
Roger McDowell, Braves pitching coach, is out there right now. Paulino is the hitter. And then you got Bonifacio.
Nice job that Roger McDowell has done. Totally different personality and approach than Leo Mazzoni, who was there for so many years. And Roger McDowell has come in and just fit right in, worked with his pitching staff, has a good pitching staff.
A reminder that immediately following Marlins Live tonight, Inside the Marlins. We'll take you inside a Marlins telecast. Thankfully, we won't be taking you inside last night's telecast, because that would have been a 6.5-hour show.
It would have been an epic event.
3 for 8, and that includes an 0 for 2 tonight. That whistling that you hear before every pitch, that's Escobar at shortstop. I saw Chipper Jones last time we were in Atlanta talking about that, saying he's the guy that they asked him, is there one player, if you had to be stranded on a desert island, that you wouldn't want to be stranded with? And Chipper said Escobar, because he'd drive him nuts with all the whistling and noises he makes.
Carrying on a conversation with the Infante, second base.
Ross bluffed. Paulino wasn't sure that was a strike.
I think it bluffed all the way. And it looked like a slider was off the plate.
Full count, 1 out. Cody might be on the move. There he goes.
You don't have the best of combos, but I think that's the right play. Get a little action going on the bases. Maybe if a pitch is in the strike zone, it makes Ronnie Paulino concentrate a little bit more. You see that pitch count growing. First inning was a big one for Vasquez, 29 pitches.
He's running again. Paulino loops it down the right field line. That thing's going to fall for a base hit. Cody chugging for third. And he'll stop there.
That's why I like that play. It makes you concentrate a little bit more, puts a little pressure on you as a hitter. And you notice Cody, once you commit and you get to second base, you also know where the ball's hit, where the outfielders are. There was never any hesitation on Cody's part. He takes one peek, and he knew that ball was going to drop for a base hit.
We talked about the availability of Hanley Ramirez as a pinch hitter, and you made the point that you have to have the right spot to use an injured guy. This is not the right spot, because if you pinch hit for Bonifacio, who's going to play shortstop?
Well, that's right. So now it's Freddie trying to determine, okay, who's going to be the guy to pinch hit for. You have to look at the situation. Who's warming up? You get the right-hander Medlin warming up in the bullpen. So we're thinking outside the bun with Taco Bell, and we love to do that all the time.
Bonifacio takes down low, and it's 1-0. Ross and Paulino at the corners. We saw how difficult Bonifacio is to double up, as he beat out a double play grounder back in the fourth. Marlins have another opportunity to tie this game.
Boy, a big change up. And Bonifacio fooled.
you have one of the best strikeout pitchers in the game, and you have Bonifacio, who has punched out 93 times this year. Bonifacio with runners in scoring position. It has not been the best of years for him in spots like this. And now he's behind in the count 1-2.
In the on-deck circle. The only left-handed bat that Freddie has is John Baker, and he'd probably like to keep him for a little bit later in the game. Last time Vasquez threw this many pitches was June 27th against the Red Sox.
He's 2-2 on Bonifacio. Hit him! He hit him with a fastball. My goodness. And so Bonifacio climbs up. The bags are loaded. And it's Brett Carroll coming to the plate.
Now it's decision time for Bobby Cox. We haven't seen wildness like this from Vasquez all night. And that fastball totally got away from him. So he's been as wild in this inning as any inning tonight because he walked the leadoff man, Cody Ross. And think about that. Vandenhurst walked the leadoff man, Garrett Anderson, and he came in to score, and Bobby's made his decision.
So Bobby Cox out to the mound. Braves go to the pen. Armarooney called to the bullpen.
When you need a car, truck or van, who you gonna call? Armarooney!
The Marlins have seen the Braves in 3 series, and the Braves bullpen has been almost unhittable. Tommy, look at these numbers.
Yeah, the numbers speak for themselves. 21 innings, just 11 base hits, lots of strikeouts. The Marlins batters hitting 157. And Bobby Cox makes the move and brings in a strikeout pitcher. Chris Medlin, we told you about his changeup, 56 2/3 innings. And look at the strikeouts, 65 strikeouts in those 56-plus innings.
And you've got Brett Carroll at the plate. Now, Carroll last night was the last man to hit for the Marlins. He had a good battle against Rafael Soriano, fouling off pitch after pitch, and then bounced into a double play to end the game. Infield back for 2. Carroll gets a strike, 0-1. Bases filled with Fish.
Takes care of this fastball by Medlin. It's up a little bit. Brett Carroll goes right with it, gets it past LaRoche. And all of a sudden, Brett Carroll building a nice resume with bases loaded. He's 3 for 8, 7 RBIs in his career with bases loaded. Bonifacio, he just took off and flew around the bases.
And you can see he's still in some pain after getting hit by a pitch. Now Coughlin with Carroll at second.
Watch how close this ball is. Just fair.
Coughlin fouls it back, and it's 1-1. 5-3 Fish. And Bonifacio limping around. Remember, with Hanley not in the lineup, Bonifacio really the only guy that the Marlins feel comfortable with at shortstop. So it's imperative to keep him in the game.
Well, it all goes back to what we talked about at the very beginning when we showed you the career record of Javier Vazquez, 138 and 138. You stay close, you have a chance to beat him.
Marlins have a chance to beat him for the 3rd time this year. This is 4th start against the ball club.
And all of those runs charged to Vazquez on that double by Brett Carroll.
You know, Tommy, I think you watch Carroll. That goes back last night to his at-bat against Soriano. Soriano has a better fastball than Medlin. And remember, he threw it by Carroll twice early in that at-bat. But Carroll caught up to the fastball. Coughlin catches up to that one into center field. Base hit. Church picks it up at the corners with 1 out. Carroll had to make sure that that was going to fall for a hit. Coughlin is 2 for 4.
Another nice swing, and you're right. Brett Carroll had to hold just for a little bit. There's a pitch up, a mistake by Medlin. Might have been that changeup. Church, again, to point out, not as deep as Infante had been playing. And here comes Ross Globe.
Ross Globe steps up, having gone 3 for 3. He has singled, he has doubled, he has tripled. In the Marlins' history,
2,656 games,
2 world championships, 4 no-hitters. The Marlins have never had a hitter hit for the cycle.
And here's the irony to this whole story. When Ross Globe was coming up in the Marlins organization, the Marlins had an exhibition game in Portland, Maine. Globe hit for the cycle against the Fish in that exhibition game.
Drives that one to center field. Church is there, makes the catch. BC tags. Here comes the throw, and he's in there. And the Marlins pick up a big run. Carroll scores. Globe comes through. It's 6-3.
Yeah, you're right. Just to get that extra run, that one more run, a good at bat, good swing by Globe. He knows what he needs to do in that situation, and he had a little help because he had some speed at third base. Got it just deep enough. Church surrounds it, gets his momentum coming to the plate, has a pretty good arm, but Brett Carroll just outraces it.
When Brett Carroll walked in the clubhouse after getting called back up the other day, there were a lot of people there with big smiles on their face and a welcome back. A very popular player in the clubhouse.
He sure is. He's a good teammate. Guys love him. They like being around him. They love the way he plays the game. And they know when he got sent down, it was a matter of a numbers game. It wasn't because he wasn't performing.
Uggla takes, and it's 1-1. It's been an interesting day for Dan Uggla, to say the least. A heated shouting match between Uggla and Hanley Ramirez in the clubhouse before the ball game. Uggla a 2-run homer in the third. A sharp ground ball in the left field for a base hit. He's got 2 hits.
Two-hit night for Dan Uggla. By the way, if you saw the guy next to Brett Carroll in the Marlins dugout, you might be wondering who was that. Well, at this time of year, the Marlins also can bring up some various coaches. John Maley. John is the roving hitting instructor, sees all the hitters. Talked to him the other day about Logan Morris and Mike Stanton. He sees these guys all year. So a great guy to talk to, and he's up just with the ball club now and checking things out. He's seen a lot of Brett Carroll.
Jorge Cantu singled and bounced out twice. Cantu into center field. That's a base hit. Cogler got a good jump, and he's going to score easily. And the Marlins put another one on the board. Boy, this feels good for this ball club.
Especially after last night, the long night. The Marlins, by the way, didn't hit on the field today. They took some cuts in the batting cages. Just got to the ballpark a little later than normal, just because of the length of the evening. And the bats have come alive here in the 6th inning.
And it all started with a slumping Cody Ross working a walk to open up the 6th inning. They throw behind the runner. Cantu's back. I think you could hear Andy Fox yelling back, back, back the whole ways.
Yeah, always an alert coach is Andy Fox. There's the lefty Eric O'Flaherty. This is another guy with Cody Ross up there. You'd love to see Cody bust out of things too.
Two and one. Back together again. CC and BC.
No doubt reminiscing about Comic-Con. Yeah, looking forward to the trip to D.C.
Next stop, D.C. Two and two. outs here in the 6th. Ugla, Cantu, both with base hits. The big hit, the 3-run pinch hit double by Brett Carroll.
How about the series Jorge Cantu's had? 7 for 12.
Brett Hayes on deck. Check swing and the ball kicks away. Ross is going to get to first, and the runner's coming home. He is out. Ugla with a head first slide. Couldn't get in under the tag of Medlin. Was the out recorded at first? Before that? Not sure. Home plate umpire pumped him. We'll sort it out when we return. Brett Carroll had the big hit, and the Fish are on top 7-3. Running on the pitch from second, and as you'll see, the throw just beat him, and Ross was out, but Ugla didn't know that.
That's really a non-play at the plate, but yeah, Dan Ugla didn't know that. He was motoring to the plate.
Now I'm not sure if Fielding Colbreth, you know, I saw his right hand go up, but he was looking at first base.
Yeah, you see him in that shot, the first base umpire Jim Wolf make the out call, but he might not have known that.
Oh, I know that, but what I'm saying is, in watching Ugla slide, it looked like he got his hand underneath the tag, but Colbreth was signaling out, and he was kind of looking at first base. That's one we'll have to ask Uggs on tomorrow. Here's a look. I mean, it looks to me like he gets the hand under the tag. But it was all for naught, and Garrett Anderson pops Dan Myers' pitch up. Ugla makes the catch. Super Saturday on the 12th. Postgame concert is Willie Chirino. A fireworks spectacular as the Marlins take on the Nationals at 6:10 and celebrate Hispanic Heritage Night. Fans get a Marlins body flag courtesy of Delta Dental, 1877 Marlins. saw Brett Carroll out there. Jeremy Hermida has left the game due to a right intercostal strain. And he's listed as day-to-day.
By the way, this is one of those at-bats from McCann with the shift on. We talked about it. You don't see Ryan Howard or Adam Dunn try to push a bunt or hit a ball the other way. But McCann every once in a while will do that. And in a game where his ball club trails by 4, he might think about that.
He seems to be having a much easier time tonight with his glasses than he did last night. Last night against Anibal Sanchez, he stepped out numerous times.
It might have been the game plan.
Great player. That's picked. Bonifacio airmails it.
Well, he just hasn't had a whole lot of games at short. But the Marlins have given away some outs, and each time it's been with McCann up there. Remember, McCann hit that routine double play ball to second base that Dan Uggla made a bad flip on. But he had time. He took too much time. A couple of taps in the glove, a couple of skips, and then threw it away. So unfortunately, it makes Dan Meyer work a little bit harder.
It also, again, reinforces the need for Hanley Ramirez, because Hanley has been one of the steadiest shortstops in the National League defensively this year.
Hanley has had a stretch of 45 consecutive games, 46 a little bit last night without an error. He's only made 8 all season.
Now remember, Uggla got the error on that flip, but Bonifacio did have it in his glove and it popped out. You wonder if Hanley's able to handle that flip or handle that play. The 1-1. Swing. Ball gets away from Paulino. And McCann is now at second base. 4-run game in the 7th.
No time to get sloppy when you have a 4-run lead.
This is the last at bat from Jeremy Hermida.
He's grabbing that right side as he goes up the line.
The intercostal muscles. Those, of course, the waterway that runs between Fort Lauderdale and the beach. It was a great Christmas parade there. That's the muscle between the ribs, right?
Yes.
All right.
See, I always get confused.
With intercostal? Or
No. I mean, years ago it would be a rib pull, but now there's the intercostal, there's the oblique, or there's the rib strain. And I know if we had John Cunningham or Mike Kozak up here, they would give us the medical terms and spell that out for us. But I kind of like it simple.
The sports hernia is one that always has puzzled me. Is that different from an everyday hernia? Or like, you know,
or if you get a hernia walking around the kitchen.
Or if you're, say you're a carpenter and you get a hernia.
That's not a sports hernia, it's a carpenter's hernia.
Full count.
It all depends on how the copay can handle it.
Yeah, if your insurance company will cover that. In a right field, that's a base hit. Carroll has it. Braves have a couple on. The Marlins obviously need to stop this before it gets started. Updating you. Look at that. The Giants 4-0. That was a Brad Penny start for the Giants. Mets are hanging tough. That's good. Cubs are just a game behind the Marlins in the wild card race, and they've defeated Houston.
Saw where the Cubs have a makeup game tomorrow against the White Sox. So interleague play is not over.
Inside the Marlins, the broadcasters coming up immediately following this telecast. If you were with us last night, we took emails during the rain delay. One of the questions was, what is the song that Dick Jans, the organist, plays when Mark Wiley comes out? You've Got a Friend in Me. Randy Newman's song from Toy Story.
It's always nice to hear that. It's a comforting song. You know, that we have to get a song for up here. Or when they shoot us in the booth. Not literally.
That might be coming. Are we out of chicken? This is the pitch. And it's outside. So it says Fielding Colbreth.
Well, this is where Dan Meyer has to make some good pitches now. He hasn't gotten any help defensively, and then LaRoche got the base hit.
It's 2-0. Marlins bullpen, Tim Wood getting ready. A pensive Mark Wiley. Meyer's gone 3-0. Marlins have made 3 errors tonight. There's been a chipper sighting.
6th game this year that they've had 3 errors in a game.
You don't want to bring Chipper to the plate as the tying run. Just a casual observation. No swing. I think Meyer thought it should have been a called strike. And here comes Chipper.
Well, he has that good cut fastball. He tried to cut it in. Might have been inside, but good pitch. And Freddie making that decision. Do I want Chipper from the right side or the left side?
Here's our Marooney, called to the bullpen.
You need a car, truck or van. Who you gonna call? Marooney!
Not a done deal. Bags are loaded. There's 1 out. Bobby Cox is sending Chipper Jones up there. And the Marlins bring Tim Wood out of the bullpen. Now Wood's numbers are not bad, but this is a whole different animal than pitching in short relief and closing in AAA.
All right, you have a guy who's struggling. There's no question. Chipper Jones 6 for his last 53. but in his career, a .314 hitter with bases loaded. And you think, along with Freddie, Chipper Jones in his career has hit .310 as a lefty and .312 as a righty.
So I think you want the guy that's going to throw strikes, and Meyer was struggling to do that. Chipper drives it in the gap, left center field. Ross isn't going to get it. They'll play it on a hop. 1 run in, 2 runs in. Here comes Escobar. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it's way offline. And Chipper Jones makes this a 1-run game.
Pinch hitters tonight have each cleared the bases with doubles. Brett Terrell for the Marlins and Chipper Jones for the Braves. This year now he's 3 for 7 with 8 RBIs in bases loaded situations. So you throw it all out the window. You throw out the 113 batting average in the last 53 at bats because he's a guy who has done it for a long time.
And now you got Infante, who's great with runners in scoring position, and Chipper is out at second, and there's only 1 out in this inning. Remember, Meyer had an out, and Bonifacio threw away a routine ground ball. That started the rally. 0-1. Off Infante. Wow, that was close.
And again, you always go back to that starting pitcher. He takes you a little deeper into the game. Now you can go with the Lindstroms and Nunez's. But if you don't, you got to bridge it. Sanchez did a job. Pinto struggled last night. Freddie wanted to stay away from him. So you have to use guys to get to that point.
Wood out front. Here's the 1-2. There's a soft liner to center field. Chipper around third. Up to the ball is Ross. The Braves have runners at the corners. And Greg Norton, their pinch hitter specialist, is coming up.
Well, again, that guy Infante with those big numbers, runners in scoring position. He didn't drive in the run, but it was a base hit with a runner in scoring position. Chipper Jones had to hold up.
Mark Wiley's out to talk to Wood. Norton is a guy that in his career has been a pretty dependable and productive pinch hitter, though this year has not been the best of years for him. It's been a wild ride, starting with this afternoon with the whole Hanley Ramirez situation. Then the Braves came out and knocked Rick Vandenherk around early. The Marlins answered back with the Ugla homer. A couple of close calls for the Fish. They couldn't get the big hit. They finally did, and they made it a 7-3 game. And now here you've got the Braves within a run, and the tying run's 90 feet away. There is Chipper, Infante across the diamond. Wood needs a ground ball. ball, 1 strike. There's nobody out from the Marlins bullpen, although that's about to change. One coming. This is the bottom of the order. And need we remind you that the top of the order is Matt Diaz. Got another strike. And the count is 2-2.
And he got some help from Norton because that would have been ball 3.
He got him. Boy, Tim Wood just snapped off a couple of nice ones.
Well, what a good pitch. Bottom falls out of it. Norton swings over it, and he gets the strikeout. Now they're 2 down, but you still have to deal with that guy Diaz.
Florida residents, the Marlins have just announced an online ticket offer exclusively for you on Friday, September 11th. Florida residents and their families can purchase infield box seats for just $20. Visit marlins.com/Florida residents. Wood hits Diaz. Diaz has words for Wood. Paulino separates him. Diaz screaming as he goes down the line. And both benches empty. Both bullpens start to empty. Well, Tim Wood didn't mess around. I don't know if the umpires have warned both benches. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why would he want to hit Diaz and load the bases. Because now you put the potential go-ahead run in scoring position.
He's got to face Martin Prado.
Hey, let's go.
I mean, it's a one-run game.
I just don't think you throw at a guy and hit him on purpose in a one-run game to load the bases, even though you bring up a lesser hitter in Martin Prado. Diaz is fired up, and I don't blame him either, because he knows the success he's had against the Marlins. But you know what? That's the price you pay when you have that kind of success against a ball club. It used to be anyway.
So now Wood has to get Prado to get out of this inning, and Paulino's going to go out and try to calm down this 26-year-old out of Tucson, Arizona. The Marlins selected Tim Wood in the 44th round of the 2002 draft. That was 40 rounds after they selected Josh Johnson. They nabbed Tim Wood out of a community college in Tucson.
Prior to Tim Wood getting to the big leagues, Dave Berg was the lowest draft pick ever to be drafted by the Marlins and get to the big leagues.
Here comes Freddie. I think Freddie's going to go to the pen. The trip by Paulino was to buy some time for Calero. Now I think Freddie right now is discussing with fielding Colbreth if there was actually a warning issue. And Maven's going to come in this double switch. Actually, in an odd way, I think if you're the Marlins, you'd like to have had a warning issued in that case. That's it for another time.
And another conversation.
All right, here's our Marooney call to the bullpen.
When you need a car, truck, or van, who you gonna call?
These are the 4 hitters. These 3, that fastball that came up and in on Infante.
Well, I think it just shows that he was all over the place and he was struggling with his control. And if you're the whole plate umpire, Fielder Colbert, we still don't know if a warning's been issued, but when you see a pitcher struggling as badly as Wood did with his control, I don't think you can bury one right in the back of a hitter if you have that kind of control.
And remember, Wood had just given up the 3-run double, and Chipper Jones was in scoring position, so obviously he's not throwing it at Infante. He's not throwing it at Norton, and he ends up hitting Diaz. The Marlins, though, feel a little more comfortable with Calero facing Prado, and to do such, they double switch and bring Maben into the ballgame. Remember, Hermita's out with an injury. Carroll is in right. Maben's now in center. This is a huge at-bat for Martin Prado against Kiko Calero. Slider misses high. Chipper had the big hit, the 3-run double. Infante would single. And of course, Diaz angrily went down to first base. Just calmed down a bit. And Calero has missed with 2 sliders.
Now you have to wonder if Prado will look for that fastball. We know that Kiko will use that fastball, but he prefers to get hitters out with his slider.
And at times he has better control with his slider. Fastball. That was a batting practice fastball. That was a just get it over fastball.
Yep, 86 miles an hour.
Let's see what he throws. 2-1. He came in with a fastball. He dialed it up. And it goes to 2-2. 14,000 making some noise here. In a big spot in the 7th inning. The 2-2. Slider in the air, center field. Maben is there. Cameron squeezes it. The Braves come back within a run. Lots of baseball left in what has been a wild night in South Florida. it up with his towering home run.
Number 25 on the year for Ruggs. Another huge hit, a pinch hit double for Brett Carroll. The bases were loaded. He cleared the bases. And that put the Marlins up 5-3. 7-3 lead, but Chipper Jones did the same thing. Pinch hit double to left center. He too cleared the bases. And what do you know? It's a 7-6 ball game. Things got a little heated. The pitch up and in, catches Matt Diaz. Tim Wood saying, hey, look it, I haven't had a whole lot of control. Diaz isn't buying it. But then Kiko Calero comes in with the bases loaded, retires Prado, and that's the way it stands right now. The last 2 half innings have been filled with a lot of stuff.
And of course, a full moon up there. Chipper Jones stays in the ball game. He's at third base. Braves dip deeper into their bullpen. Peter Moylan comes into the ball game, and Maben leads it off. Of course, the Marlins had to double switch to get Maben into this spot. This was Jeremy Hermita's spot originally. He left with a strained intercostal muscle. You see Moylan's numbers. He's been good, especially in the second half. And Maben takes down low. Martin Prado stays in the game. He's at second base. And Omar Infante is now in center field. That's down low. Maben goes to 3-0.
Is one of the things he certainly worked on in the minor leagues. Better pitch recognition, getting on base more.
And he walks.
And that's good. That gives you some speed. So now Freddie has a little speed at first base.
Ronnie Polino comes up. Polino has a base hit. So, from the sequence of events that we saw, are you assuming that there was a warning issued to both benches?
I'm assuming there wasn't, but I could be wrong. And one of the reasons I could be wrong because Freddie did come out to talk to Field and Culbreth, the home plate umpire. But I didn't see Culbreth go over and talk to Bobby Cox either, which an umpire usually does.
Greg, you're down below. What did you see? What did you hear?
No, I was looking. I agree with you guys. I didn't see him look at either bench. He didn't come over, and I don't think there was any warning given out. Now, there are times, sometimes we find out later a warning was given, but if it was by Morse code.
Maben from first. Moylan to the plate. It's outside. Now, as Diaz had reached first base, I did see the home plate umpire shout into the Braves dugout, and he was addressing Bobby Cox, but he didn't turn around and also address Freddie, which is standard protocol when you issue a warning. You can hear Moylan's upset out on the mound.
Well, it has been a fun game to watch because of the scoring, the way things have gone. But in another respect, it's been a very sloppy game. Pitchers have struggled. The Marlins have made 3 errors.
Polino cranked that one into right center field. Maben to second, and he'll stop there. So Paulino's got a couple hits.
Yeah, 2-hit night for Ronnie Paulino.
All right, here's an interesting spot for Bonifacio, because with first and second and nobody out, you got Carroll on deck. You could have Bonifacio drop down the bunt there.
Well, he is. I guarantee.
And here's the interesting part, and we've seen this happen to the Marlins numerous times in the last month. When a speedy hitter is at the plate and sacrificing in this spot, if the third baseman is depending on the pitcher to field a bunt down the third base line, we've seen speedy runners turn those into base hits.
The other thing about Bonifacio, we've also seen that he appears more relaxed and more proficient when he tries to bunt for a base hit, as opposed to more squaring around, more trying to drop down a sacrifice bunt. Now you got speed at second, but not much speed at first.
Moylan misses outside, and it's 1-0.
I tell you what, there's a huge opening out towards short because Chipper Jones is charging. LaRoche at first is charging. Escobar is pretty much just staying in second base.
And I think that's because the speed of Bonifacio puts pressure on Chipper. He's got to make an early decision whether he goes after this. And it's 1-1. Of course, if you're Bonifacio, as you noted, the first thing you got to do is get it down. Bonifacio 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch his last time up.
See again how uncomfortable he looks when he's trying to sacrifice as opposed to his trying to drag a bunt or trying to bunt for a base hit. And now he's in a hole 1 and 2. We've said it many times. It's something that he needs to work on. He's still a young player. In the wintertime, in spring training, he needs to work on his bunting.
Not bunting, it takes outside, 2-2. Well, the Braves bullpen's been really good. We showed you that about 2 innings ago. They've also been very busy. Luis Valdez is up. O'Flaherty's been warm. Counts 2-2. And this is Moylan for the 3rd consecutive game. He pitched 2/3 of an inning on Monday. Another 2/3 of an inning last night. And here he is in the middle of this one. Cameron Maben, Ronnie Paulino. 1-run game, bottom 7. Ground ball, Chipper has it, steps on the bag, throws it across, and that is a double play. And the inability to get the bunt down really hurts.
Boy, these double plays killed the Marlins the last couple of games, the first 2 games of this series, and a key one here for the Braves. Chipper Jones right there alertly steps on the bag and then is able to push off the bag and get something on the throw to get Bonifacio. The inability to drop down the sacrifice bunt, then with 2 strikes swinging away, and he makes 2 outs.
BC 3-run double in the 6th. Moylan, and Carroll. You lost the speed out there on the bases with Maven getting forced at third.
Yeah, you had Bonifacio and Maven. They're gone. And you're left with
Paulino.
Ronnie Paulino.
Paulino has 2 hits tonight.
And no offense, Ronnie, those guys don't have to put on the gear and get back behind the plate.
Carroll, a little chopper. Moylan fires over to first, and Peter Moylan got himself into trouble, and he pitches himself out of trouble. 7 entertaining innings. Let's go to the 8th.
But Freddie would love to have Kiko get through this 8th inning without having to go to the bullpen again. If he goes again, we'd probably see Matt Lindstrom.
So Jupiter, is that the consensus? With a couple of moons around it?
That's what we hear, guys.
That's pretty awesome.
Jupiter, and we think it's to the left. And speaking of Jupiter, Nick Johnson tonight playing in Jupiter. And the guys, he was 0 for 2 with a couple of punch outs, but more importantly, feels good. No problems at all with the hamstring. Asked Freddie today, and he said it is possible that he could be back as soon as the weekend, maybe even Friday. They wouldn't lock in on that, guys, but maybe even Friday for the game against the Nationals.
They have to wonder with the injury to Jeremy Bermuda if that changes the thinking a little bit.
He played 6 innings in the field today. Breaking ball is up, and it's 2-1 to Garrett Anderson. So Calero picks back up in the 3, 4, 5 spots in the Braves order. Anderson, McCann, LaRoche. 2-2. If you're spinning around the dials, some late night baseball on the East Coast or on the West Coast, flipping around to see what's going on out here. The Marlins and the Braves are playing Game 3 of a 4-game series. Key series for both. Braves winners in the first 2. Marlins up a run here in the 8th. In Game 3, a chopper, Glode snares it and steps on the bag. Time now for the Stay in the Game hold today, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Peter Moylan is the Braves hold leader. Mike Gonzalez right behind him. You two can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. Brian McCann climbs in now. The Marlins have made 3 errors, and they've all come on McCann at bats. He had a sacrifice fly in the first. He hit the liner that Coughlin dropped in the third. The grounder that Ugla flipped wide of second on,
which was a double play ball,
and popped out of Bonifacio's glove. And then in the 7th, he hit the routine ground ball that Bonifacio airmailed the first.
But right now, everybody's out there saying, "Don't hit it to me."
Ken had the green light, and he had a rip at 2-0. He was sitting on a fastball. Let's see if he gets another. Valero's best pitch is slider, and he goes back to it. Even against lefties, his best pitch is a slider.
Yeah, that's right, and that's a little different than most right-handers. You know, a lot of right-handers, even guys who have sliders, a lot of times their best pitch to a lefty isn't going to be that slider, unless it's that good snapper down and in.
2-2 to the Braves catcher. The guy that has turned into Atlanta's best offensive weapon. Brian McCann has driven in 74 runs. Cantu on to first in time. Shift works.
And actually got him with a fastball. Tied him up a little bit, jammed him. Yeah, you have Cantu over on the right side, but you have to score at 5-3. I guess the only time that would be really confusing is if in a couple of months you look back at your scorebook and saw a 5-3 out. Well, McCann went the other way with it.
See, I would think too that this is becomes such a statistically heavy game, and now games, retro sheet, you can go back and recreate games. You wonder if in some of the computer programs that do spray charts, if they're based on the scoring of the game, or are they based on ground ball right side? Because if it's 5-3 in the books, some computer's going to say, wow, McCann just dribbled one down the third baseline. LaRoche is 3 for 4. There's that good snapper.
See, sometimes he'll backdoor it. Which he did on that last pitcher. Sometimes he'll try to go down and in. Up with a fastball. Yeah, he saw Paulino raise up, give the target real high.
Yeah, that's one of those pitches where if Paulino's not standing up, that might have been a strike. But if he's standing up, umpire not going to give you that pitch. One-two coming to Adam LaRoche. He went up and got him with a fastball. Kiko Calero, a scoreless 8th. Big boost out of the bullpen. Another Roberto Clemente factoid. Charity work in both Puerto Rico, other Latin American countries. And of course, that fateful day on December 31st, 1972, was killed in a plane crash. And today in baseball, Roberto Clemente Day, a Pittsburgh Pirate. Even in Tiger Stadium, he was big.
Took one deep, looks like, against Mickey Lolich.
At the All-Star game where everybody went deep. Here's Coughlin. Even his outs are hit hard right now. Coughlin is 2 for 5 in this game.
Yeah, he hit that hard one-hop shot to second base back in the third inning for an out. You know what? I figured out the suspense of this game, the way this game has gone. This is just captivating our audience for Inside the Marlins, the broadcasters, which follows.
Here is Nunez.
If the Marlins hang on and win this game, one of the big pieces and parts in this game has been Kiko Calero, the job he did in an inning in the third.
Another big piece was Ross Globe at the plate. Remember, he's a home run shy of the cycle. He is singled, he is doubled, he is tripled, and he has a sacrifice fly. Globe has hit 4 home runs this year. One of them a very memorable one against the Braves, but he has to face the lefty here.
Yeah, tough lefty too. And another big piece that fits in nicely, Brett Carroll's pinch hit double to drive in 3.
Lloyd hits a drive. Foul. Here's Ross Glode's night so far.
Pulled the ball in the hole on the right side for a base hit. Took a breaking ball into the right field corner for a double. And then finds the right center field gap for 3 bases.
1-2. Little squibber, chipper across and gets there in time. 2 outs for Eric O'Flaherty, who takes over for Peter Moylan. This was a Javier Vasquez start, and he's still on the hook. You see the Giants score there, and you see the Rockies score. Cubs have won. The Rockies 2-2 with the Mets in the 7th inning. Mets have a home run from former Brave Jeff Francoeur. And Seth Smith, good buddy of Chris Coughlin, another Ole Miss Rebel, has hit his 12th. 2-2.
He's been on a nice run, Seth Smith has.
He really has been. This is Ugla. And of course, the backdrop for this whole night involves Ugla and his 2-run homer in the 3rd, a single in the 6th. Chopper to chipper across the diamond. The Marlins need 3 outs, and they hope Leo Nunez can get them. Brett Carroll in a key spot with the bags loaded in the 6th. Carroll punches one down the line and gives the Marlins the lead. Check out the new ARC Performance vehicles at your local Jaguar dealer or on JaguarUSA.com. Marlins had a 4-run lead. The Braves shaved it to 1 in the 7th. And here in the 9th, Wes Helms is in at third base. Jorge Cantu goes across the diamond to first. And Leo Nunez is on to try to close it.
And you slide Nunez into the number 2 spot, Ross Glode's spot in the lineup. And Wes Helms is in the number 5 spot.
Nunez faces Escobar, Chipper Jones, and Omar Infante. First pitch, fly ball right field, back deep, and it's gone. This game is tied. Wow. Yunel Escobar is 14th.
Well, we've talked about the home runs that Nunez has allowed. He's allowed 10 home runs in under 60 innings. A high fastball. Escobar is an extremely aggressive hitter and just shoots it into the right field seats. And after all that, it's back to a tie.
So a blown save. 7-7. And Chipper Jones, who had a 3-run double himself in the 7th inning. And Chipper shoots that one foul. Quickly it's 0-2. If you like drama, if you like twists and turns, and if you like mystery endings, this ball game is for you tonight.
Well, and keep in mind, Hanley Ramirez is available and on the bench.
The 1-2 pitch. Chipper fighting off changeups. Still 1-2. Well, the bullpen wobbled. Kiko Calero, though, tightened things up with an inning and a third of no hit relief. Retired all 4 that he faced. You know, Hanley, that started the day when Freddie got to the ballpark and asked Hanley if he could play. Hanley said yes. And then when the media gathered around and asked Hanley, Hanley said, well, I'm only about 10%, but I'm going to have to play because my teammates gave me a hard time last night. The media, when chatting with Freddie, let him know the pitch was inside, and Freddie went to go ask Hanley because obviously you can't play somebody if they're 10%. And before Freddie got there, Dan Ugla and Hanley were in a shouting match. As a result, not as a result of the shouting match, but as a result of Hanley saying he was only 10%, Freddie had to take him out of the lineup.
And in Dan Ugla's case, he felt if Hanley, which he did, came out of the game last night, how was he able to play in today? He felt he should have stayed in the game last night, though.
Chipper pulls that one foul. So I guess the question remains, if Hanley's just 10%, is he indeed available to pinch hit? We may never know, or we may find out in the bottom of the 9th. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Chipper hits a ball to left field. Conklin starting back looking for it, finding it, and catching it. Everybody exhale. And we check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Guys, when I was talking to Scout Luke Wren, I was talking to another scout who asked me about the situation today and happened to have an article, and he was reading through it. And you know, his first thing he said struck me, and he said, you know what, I like that. Which was a different take on everything we've said about this today, and that, you know, it shows the fire, it shows the competition. It happens. We've all pointed out it's a family. You get a scrap every now and then. It's not the worst thing all the time to kind of light a fire under each other and have that inner clubhouse push, and not just the coaches or the manager maybe saying something. Not the worst thing always. So we'll see. Do you agree or no?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think when you're a group, 25 guys, and you're together for 6 months and things like this, there are things like this happen that we never hear about with every team. And sometimes you hear about them. Sometimes they happen when there are reporters in the clubhouse. So I don't think it's a bad thing either. I think it gets, sometimes it brings you closer together as a team.
Well, and as teams, there are guys in this, not only in baseball, but also in other sports, there are teams that police themselves. You know, there are guys that if somebody they feel is not pulling their weight, or somebody is unhappy with somebody else, it's not like you go to the coach and ask the coach, or you go to the manager in baseball and ask the manager, hey, can you take care of this for me? They just do it themselves.
That's why it's always nice to have a few veterans on the club, because then they help you. Wes Elms is a big part of that.
Meanwhile, Nunez has not been a comfortable fit here in the ninth. The home run to Escobar to tie the game. Chipper hit one just shy of the track. It's 3-1 to Infante. And Nunez just walked it. Here's Kelly Johnson pinch hitting.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for number 2, Kelly Johnson. Johnson pinch hitting.
Tough guy to double up, too, is Kelly Johnson.
One out here in the ninth. The run across. Johnson, whom we've seen at second base for the Braves last season and a half, played his way out of that position this year. Martin Prado has kind of won that job. But a good pinch hitter so far. Got Infante at first. Cantu holds him.
Times with this combination, Bobby Cox will use a hit and run. Certainly decent speed at first and very good speed at the plate.
So then you get into Diaz, Prado, and Anderson. So if you're Nunez, it would behoove you to throw strikes to Kelly Johnson. There's nobody throwing in the Marlins pen yet. That might be about to change.
Yeah, it's just a shame that you get guys coming in from the bullpen, they can't throw strikes. I mean, I would wonder what all the second guessers are wondering now, because you've used everybody. You got Matt Lindstrom, you got Pinto, who did not do the job last night.
It might not be available tonight.
It might not even be available. So you go with what you have, and a lot of times what you have isn't good enough.
Lindstrom last night finished the ball game and pitched an inning on Sunday as well.
Number 23, right-hander Matt Diaz.
Well, here's Diaz. The last time we saw him, he was being escorted up the first baseline by Ronnie Paulino after getting hit in the back by Tim Wood. First and second, one out. Broken bat and foul.
Broke his bat on a changeup.
Now remember, Tim Wood had come close to hitting two other hitters.
Got him on the number 2.
And there were 2 runners on in a 1-run game. Ground ball up the middle. Bonifacio, Uggla's turn is in time. Double play. The Braves tie it on the Escobar homer. Nunez gets through, and the Marlins go to the bottom of the 9th, 7-7.
But he hasn't been in his previous 2. He's faced 6 batters, 7 batters, gave up 1 base hit, and that's it.
Cantu, Helms, 2-0, and Maven. Cantu fouls it off, and it's 2-1. Gonzalez, a former Pittsburgh Pirate, and a closer, and a good one for the Pirates. And over in Atlanta, he was actually the closer to start the season, had a couple of rough outings. Soriano took the job over. They've been tag teaming it ever since. Gonzalez usually in the 8th, and Soriano in the 9th. Cantu fouls it back. Two and 2, 7-7. Cantu drives it foul. This game has been filled with plot twists, big hits, big mistakes. Mike Gonzalez, you see the last 7 days, his workload. He had a big Friday and Saturday, as well as 24 pitches last night. Cantu takes up. Gonzalez freezes.
Yeah, he thought and wanted that pitch as a strike. You know what? You talk about workload, and it's for anybody's bullpen, especially teams who are involved in races, it's going to get busy this time of year.
Cantu, it's a high pop-up. McCann tosses the mask.
I got it!
He makes the catch. Up comes Helms. West gets his first at-bat of the ballgame. He came in defensively in Cody Ross's spot. Maven's been in center field for a while.
Yeah, West saw Gonzalez last night and hit a fly ball to right field.
Gonzalez leaves that breaking ball up. Went after the fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One little area where we see West vulnerable once in a while, that fastball up. A lot of teams try to pound him in that area. But if they miss a little bit down, look out.
We have one of the best audio men in the business. In Mark Butler's microphones, you can hear him pick up Fielding Colbreth and the reaction from Gonzalez. It's 2-2. By the way, the Rockies and the Mets are still tied 2-2. That's in the 8th inning now. And the importance of that ball game is the Rockies reclaimed first place in the wild card last night, up a game over San Francisco. The Giants tonight got a gem from Brad Penny and beat Jay Happ and the Phillies 4-0 in Philadelphia.
Red Sox fans are going, the Brad Penny.
West Helms, left field, and deep, go! Ball game! Go West! A walk-off! Oh, go West! And the Fish outlast the Braves.
Don't make a mistake with that fastball if it's down a little bit. West knows how to adjust against the team that he first came to the big leagues with, the Atlanta Braves. What a ball game.
What a night. and then walk off against the Braves.
Wes Helms' second career walk-off home run. He adjusted, but belt high. He wanted to get it in a little bit more. It was belt high, out over the plate. Great adjustment by the veteran Wes Helms. And the ball game has ended. Look at the greeting at the plate.
And he's down below. That's a great picture. He's down below with Craig Minervini. Craig?
All right, thanks very much. Wes Helms, just take me through it. Gonzalez, Medlin, Moylan, the guys have had a lot of success against you. Tonight you were able to get to Medlin and then your home run.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great pitcher. He, he threw some good pitches to me. I was able to battle, get to 3-2. And, I just didn't want to get beat with a fastball there. I didn't want him to blow it by me. And he left it up in the zone. And, like I said, I mean, he was on his game, but he left one pitch over. And luckily I got to it. And that's what our job is as hitters, hit the mistakes.
Well, you love to look. Here it is again, Wes. And you knew right off the bat, this was a no doubt about it on that one.
Yeah, I connected good. I actually had a 2-strike approach. I went with a no stride, and I just tried to put the ball and play hard there and get on base my first choice. But you just let the pitch I could get under.
Especially big guys have been struggling a bit. Only 3 wins at 10, and you had the lead. This would have been a tough one to lose. Now all of a sudden you're high five.
Yeah, we're in.
Who got him? The young guys got him. Wait a minute.
Hey, Uncle Wes right here. He deserves it.
Is that allowed for the young guys? That's something new.
Hey,
go ahead, Wade. Get cleaned up.
That's all right. They'll get it triple next time. They better sleep with one eye open. But no, it's fun. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. If we're gonna win like that, they can do anything they want to. But yeah, it's just good to win tonight. We're in a position where we have to win ball games. You can call it pressure, or whatever. We got to win ball games if we want a shot. And tonight, that's a big win.
Wes, I'm not going to get into all the things we've talked about during the game, but can there be a good situation sometimes when guys kind of light the fire of each other? It happens in families, it happens on teams in a long season, and sometimes after everything settles, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you just you got to go out there and do your job. I mean, that's all you can do. You can't do anybody else's job. Can't worry about what the other teams are doing. You got to go out there and do the little things. Get the pitching, defense, and hitting. If we get all those things rolling, we're going to be fine. And I just don't want these guys to get frustrated and start pressing because we're in it till we're eliminated, and we got a good team. We can do it with these guys.
All right, thanks, man. By the way, the Mets have gotten the whipped cream. The Yankees, right?
Maybe they should try that next time.
Okay, because this is shaving cream, but the Marlins will take it. Don't eat this stuff, guys. Get rid of it. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Craig. The Marlins and the Braves, a wild one here, and almost a must-win situation for the Fish. They dropped the first 2 games of this series. The Braves separating themselves by 2 games in the wild card standing, but the Marlins win this by a score of 8-7. Our Toyota trend, how about a walk-off Toyota trend? It's not a bad trend to have. This was the Gonzalez pitch, and Helms, no doubt about it. The Marlins' 17th last at-bat win, and that is 2nd in the National League. So an emotional day for the Fish. It ends with a dog pile at home and Wes Helms at the very bottom of it. And this series not over yet. We've got one more game to go tomorrow night. Here they are, the kids, BC and CC. Get Uncle Wes, and they got him good.